So Hillary Clinton is yet again making headlines for attacking Bernie Sanders using baseless lies and smears. Hillary Clinton did this a few weeks ago when she was on the Howard Stern show, and she's back at it again doing press work for an upcoming documentary series about her. And during this press work, she basically attacked Bernie Sanders on a couple predictable fronts, which again have no basis in reality. The first way she attacked Bernie Sanders was by saying the typical line, he gets nothing done, no one likes to work with him, no one supports him, all of his, anti-establishment politics are big baloney, he's basically a phony, and she doesn't understand why anyone supports him. The second line is that basically she perpetuates the Bernie bro myth. The idea that Bernie Sanders is backed by millions of bros, even though Bernie Sanders gets a substantive amount of support from women and women of color, especially young women of color. And this whole narrative that they're going after women, they're going after Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren. Bernie Sanders is attacking these women personally and allowing his online bros to do it. And she doesn't support that sort of politics. But all of this is a lie. It's 100% a lie. On that first point, which is that no one likes Bernie, I find that very hard to believe, Hillary, because here's the thing. Bernie has the most donors, the most donations, the most money raised, all on average from donations under $20, not from wine cave millionaires. Those are individual people giving Bernie money. Bernie has very high levels of favorability. In general, in his state, he's consistently one of the most popular politicians in America. And yes, Hillary Clinton is right to note that some of the elite, some of the traditional neoliberal Democrats and Republicans in the House and Senate don't have a very high opinion of Bernie Sanders, but that's a good thing, not a bad thing, Hillary. The fact that people like you don't like Bernie, that's a good thing to me, because in many ways, people like Hillary Clinton are at the very best barriers to progress, if not enemies of progress. And so when Bernie Sanders takes on those people, frankly, and without mincing words, yeah, he's bound to get some people who don't like him, but he's doing the right thing. And don't forget that in this round, while in 2015, 2016, there weren't very many congressional endorsements for Bernie, he has far more this time, showing that Bernie Sanders has built more inroads in the Democratic Party, has built more relationships, because there were people willing to build those relationships with him, and Bernie Sanders has always been willing to cooperate whenever possible. The fact that Hillary Clinton and her ilk didn't seem to find ways to work with Bernie Sanders says a lot more about them than it does about Bernie. And again, we have to be 100% clear. All of these smears about Bernie Sanders and his supporters are 100% lies. 100%. This idea that the Bernie Sanders bros are attacking women, that Bernie is attacking women, is wrong. Bernie Sanders and his supporters are the most progressive. They are the most likely to support feminist causes. They are the most likely to support a diverse array of candidates going into politics. Bernie's key endorsements have come from people of color, women of color, overwhelmingly. Bernie Sanders is building the most diverse coalition of people in this race. To boil that all down to online Bernie bros, online young white men, is an outright distortion of who Bernie Sanders is and who his team is. That's the fact. Look at this. Even Peter Dow, who was a big Hillary Clinton supporter 4 years ago and has sort of come around to Bernie, has said that I played a role in creating the Bernie bro lie. And I want you to know that it is a lie and that it's still being perpetuated by Hillary Clinton. Bernie Sanders did way more for Hillary Clinton than she had a right to expect. Bernie Sanders, and I noted this in the Howard Stern video, did more than 40 events for Hillary Clinton. More than 40. 41, some people have said, but it could be more than that when you count more informal things. More than 40 events. Hillary Clinton didn't do nearly that many events for Barack Obama in 2008. And Bernie Sanders voters were far more loyal to Hillary in 2016 than Hillary voters were loyal to Obama in 2008, showing that it's the Bernie bros, quote unquote, that were more dedicated to doing their job and defeating the Republican, even if their guy didn't win. And that's where Hillary Clinton really goes off the rails here in a way that I find totally disrespectful. Hillary Clinton is asked in this interview, will you back Bernie Sanders if he's the nominee? And basically she says, I'm not going there yet. Unacceptable. Look, so many people attacked Bernie Sanders because he didn't endorse Hillary Clinton quickly enough, or some of his supporters were still critical of Hillary after the nomination. But at the end of the day, Bernie Sanders voters fell in line behind Hillary, and Bernie himself did dozens and dozens and dozens of events for her. And even before the nomination was over, we have to remember this, Bernie Sanders defended Hillary from criticism from the right. At a time where Bernie Sanders, if he was an opportunist, could have leaned in to Trump's attacks on Hillary about emails and things like that, Bernie resisted it, saying, I don't give a damn about her emails. Hillary and I have real substantive differences, and I'm going to focus on those, but I'm not going to attack her via smear. Bernie Sanders was defending his opponent, even at a time where a more opportunistic politician would have used Trump's attacks against Hillary. Bernie never did that. Bernie Sanders was a man of honor. He made a steadfast commitment during that process, even though the process was in many ways less than fair to Bernie Sanders. I will back the nominee 100%. And he did. He worked his ass off for Hillary. Hillary wrote him a note of thanks. And yet, 4 years later, she still attacks him. She's still lying about him. She's still smearing him. She still won't even say she'll back him even if he wins, which is rule one at this stage. Any reasonable progressive, any reasonable Democratic politician needs to say one thing and one thing only right now, even if they endorse someone else. I will back the nominee. That's what they have to say. Bernie Sanders will back Joe Biden. He'll back Elizabeth Warren. He'll back Pete Buttigieg. He'll back them, even though he doesn't agree with them on many things, even though he himself wants to be the nominee, because he knows that this process is ultimately about finding the person to defeat Donald Trump. But Hillary Clinton won't do that. Hillary Clinton won't make that commitment. And while Hillary Clinton holds no formal role right now, Hillary Clinton is a stalwart, elder of the Democratic Party and has a responsibility to stand with that nominee 100%. If Bernie Sanders wins the nomination, Hillary Clinton owes him 41 events. She owes him a promise that the vast majority of people that supported her will support Bernie Sanders. But she won't make that promise because she doesn't give a damn. She'd rather Bernie lose than admit that his vision for America is a good one.